Hi there, beautiful soul. Welcome to part 3 of the series Life After CFS. Part 1 was about integrated anger. Part 2 was about enjoying food. And this is part 3, which is about how I perceive other humans. Today I'm not alone in this video, because I just noticed that there is a spider living in the plant. So let's welcome him to the YouTube show as well. Alright. Let's go first to the past. Before I had chronic fatigue syndrome, I had a big unconscious shadow. And, when we have a big unconscious shadow, we want something, but we cannot get it from ourselves. This means that we have to get it from someone else. And because we cannot ask for this directly, we ask for it indirectly, which is a form of manipulation. And therefore, we can't really see the other person or human. And many people have lots of unconscious shadows. So there's a lot of manipulation out there in the world. And then there is as well a force in this planet or in this world that is trying to divide us internally and both externally. And you can see that as well in the newspaper, where they, for example, give lots of stories about how bad other people are. And when you're also very divided yourself, you'd like to project your conflict on someone else, and you can say to a certain group of people, a certain type of group, or to other people that they're bad or something. So this is a projection. I don't know if the newspaper is always right with this, because I have perceived a lot of fake news, especially when it comes to violence that, for example, happened to paramedics, and when I researched it did not really happen. So it seems like there is also a dividing force working from that aspect on us as well. David R. Hawkins wrote a book called Power versus Force, and what he is saying in there is that you actually perceive yourself in others, that other people and other circumstances are a mirror to your internal state. So you don't really get to see other people. And that's what I noticed, that in recovery this changed. When I was able to see my own shadows, I started to see more of the humans around me, more than just what I thought it was. It is also going from the mind, like a filter as how I perceive other people, to the heart as how I feel other people. And at this moment, I feel people more than I think about them. And I can really be with them, holding space for them. So that's a big shift. And I do not really have the urge anymore to manipulate them, something that I did unconsciously in the past, for example, by people pleasing or by entertaining people, because what I want was worthiness. I want was acceptance. But that was a never ending story, because as soon as I stopped, I felt the pain internally, the internal pain. So then there was a time in my recovery, it started in 2017, where my mind suddenly just went blank, nothing, because it was useless for me at that time to think, because there was nothing that I could do. And I stayed for around 6 months in this space of, let's call it emptiness, nothingness, internal silence. And from that moment on, I started to perceive other humans much different. I really started to feel them. And in the beginning, this was quite disturbing, because I felt so much self-hatred in other people. But at the same time, I could also see the beauty underneath that. And I later called it, when I really connected with my own soul, that's how I call my own essence, I started feeling that in every other human being as well. And I started seeing how beautiful they actually are. But that they're sort of trapped in under a veil of self-denial, of self-hatred, which is always a shadow, because a shadow is something you do not want to look at. So you are going outwards to compensate that. And then it's that every time you go outwards, it's an act, in my feeling, it's an act of self-hatred. But they were also so beautiful. each and every one of them. And in the years after that, I started to feel more and more about it. And sometimes it also triggered some old coping mechanisms of me, trying to please other people, trying to rescue people. But the more I did that, the worse I actually got again. So that was like not really a good path to go on. At this moment, when I see people, I feel pure beauty. And at the same time, I can also feel their pain of self-denial, the pain of putting a mask on and hiding themselves. But I think that is irrelevant because I can see who they already are without them knowing it. And I'm very, very grateful for that gift. I'm very grateful for being able to perceive anyone's feelings, although sometimes it is a bit overwhelming and I need to retreat myself from groups. But it's a very beautiful journey, and the more beauty I see in myself and others, the more beautiful life gets. So that's is something that I wanted to share with you. Beautiful souls. Yes, you are. I actually enjoy this video series, Life After CFS. I think there's so much wisdom in there, and so much. It's so different than if I tell you just what to do. And I would like to make more of these movies. And if you have a particular idea of what I would like, what I could talk about, then please share it with me. If you would like, however, more a step-by-step approach in your recovery, then you can check out my website with the Alignment Recovery Program. It really starts very basic, how to deal with fatigue, how to deal with your boundaries, how to deal with pacing. And then when we continue, we go deeper and deeper in the recovery, psychology, and everything. Have a beautiful day. Bye.